Welcome back to ORBITS Consulting. My name is Manal Zainuddin, Global Education Consultant and founder of ORBITS Development Code, an approach for conscious learning and being. This podcast highlights education communities from macro and micro angles, leadership, learning, personal and professional growth across multiple disciplines. Education is holistic and as vast and infinite as the cosmos. As we bring stories, interviews, talks, projects from around this globe, I extend Plutarch's famous quote that I had posted in the schools I have worked in. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. For all those who already know me by now, I was a teacher for 8 years and a director for 13 years. Also a school inspector, quality management specialist, mentor, and trainer. And along with all that, I was conducting researches, independent self-study, and observations of the local and global fields. All this came together now. I illustrate 21st century learning in a figure of 4 equal parts: cognitive rigor, technology, social emotional rigor, and global citizenship, all within the context of ORBITS for conscious learning and being. ORBITS is the acronym of the phrases O. Own your way, R. Raise your standards, B. Believe in your assets, I. Integrate your mind and positive emotion, energy and motion in your daily tasks, T. Tailor to your needs and aspirations, and S. Spot and solve your problems practically. All these 4 components, cognitive rigor, technology, social emotional rigor, and global citizenship, have equal importance because at this stage, when technology, artificial intelligence, and education 4.0 arise, there must be a sense of balance based on a deep sense of individual and global consciousness. This consciousness is connecting to nature and to our inner voices. I think it is time now to put all the necessary factors together instead of talking about them separately. I named it 21st Century Orbits Model, and I'm always sending resources through my monthly newsletter to make the concept easy to understand. We want to make this connection between what we truly need and what is expected of us in this new era without having to strive in present day-to-day struggles or dissipate energies arriving late at a destined future. This is very similar to the rule 80-20. The 80% of results come from 20% of actions. That's Pareto's principle. When we assemble our practices into a clear set that targets our cognitive, social, emotional, technological, and global environmental needs and aspirations, we are framing our path so that only the specific, only the measurable, only the achievable, only the relevant, and only the timely are given attention and effort. We need to walk our talk rather than hypothesize or have continuous ineffective conversations. We are expected as learning communities to hit the nail on the head because we have no more time to lose. It is time to redeem ourselves and our world, our values, and our planet. Starting with cognitive rigor. Cognitive rigor is a simple term to describe a quite complex process of exploring the breadth and the width of pedagogical practices. Some of the explanations of what rigor is, and I quote here, quality of thinking, not quantity, can occur in any grade and at any subject. End quote. Another explanation, quote, high expectations are important and must include effort on the part of the learner. End quote. Another explanation, quote, deep immersion in a subject which should include real-world settings and working with an expert. End quote. Another explanation, quote, rigor would be used to say something about how an experience or activity is carried out and to what degree. Specifically, a rigorous experience would be one that involves depth and care as, for example, in a scientific experiment or literary analysis that is done thoughtfully, deeply with sufficient depth and attention to accuracy and detail. End quote. And the last explanation, quote, goal of helping students develop the capacity to understand content that is complex ambiguous, provocative, and personally or emotionally, end quote. So whatever way or method is used for deeper understanding and open-minded creativity is simply rigor. Now, one of the best ways to explain cognitive rigor is to consider Bloom's taxonomy that we all know and Webb's depth of knowledge harmoniously combined. Hess' cognitive rigor matrix is an excellent example. Through cognitive rigor, educators can steer, can monitor, and assess learning that builds up concepts and integrates domains so that learners can be ready with deep, interrelated capabilities for higher levels of learning and the future demands of the workplace. Second is technology, and technology or digital tools and methods became the medium of communication and delivery of our thoughts, services, teaching and learning, and more in this 21st century. And here I take the opportunity to check one presentation of mine, and I will include the link in the description. The presentation is about a report issued by Economist Impact UK, commissioned by Qatar Foundation to deliver a more vivid picture of personalized learning and the role of EdTech in its development. The study hints at the right tech tools and methods needed through 2 surveys of 300 educators, principals and vice principals, and 150 senior EdTech executives, and an interview program conducted between May and November 2021. For example, knowing whether the software we are using is teacher-led or learner-led, decision-making criteria when it comes to investing in those tech tools, and the risks of having more generalization or personalization. The point of having technology within ORBITS is to facilitate understanding of education and technology and how they both complement each other more with collaborations. Organizations and individuals have been exponentially adding more supply and demand for tech skills and tools, and COVID-19, as we have all seen, accelerated that in unprecedented ways. 21st century learning cannot exist without technology, and consequently technology will even be evolving. So what are we investing in our schools, and what exact purposes are we meeting? To what extent do we need AI, and can it exist alone? The third component is social emotional rigor, and this is the capability to live and manage all types of social and emotional situations, including the challenging ones. Like I mentioned, it has equal significance, like cognitive rigor and technology, because social emotional factors are part and parcel of human development, interaction, and growth within a society. Real life has challenges, and they are inevitable. Real life also has disappointments, and they are unavoidable. Now, one excellent method for social emotional learning comes from the CASEL, the Collaborative for Academic, Social and Emotional Learning. And it states in its meta-analysis that, and I quote, "A key challenge for 21st century schools involves serving culturally diverse students with varied abilities and motivations for learning." End quote. So 21st century ORBITS based model emphasizes the need to pay attention to social emotional factors instead of considering them as sub-skills much behind and less significant than academic skills and standardized tests. Behaviors can be predictors of social outcomes, as we all know, and even academic performance. That is why when mentored and nurtured, learners will surely grow into healthy community members. And isn't this what we want from education? The fourth component is global citizenship, GCED, but I present it as GCED through ORBITS approach. Conscious interconnectedness of humans and Earth. Natural, not international. Responsibility, not duty. Freedom, not fear. Global citizenship education through ORBITS approach has by itself 9 components: human rights, peace, prosperity, inclusion, equity and equality, ecocentrism, innovation, wisdom, and conscious oneness. We all know that we cannot remain isolated any longer. It is our duty to open our minds and our hearts to our fellow humans and our Mother Earth, acknowledging that no real progress, protection, and sustainability can be reached through isolation, discrimination, harm, and ignorance. Global citizenship means taking responsibility for our globe and communities and embracing diversity, freedom of expression, and equality. Parallel to this is media and information literacy, MIL, which is central to a world almost dominated by social media and fake news and information. And I think as we are reimagining education, and amid all the current global events, if we want to teach children and adolescents, we need first to show them the importance of being natural, not just international. By natural, we mean we are simply sharing humanity, being humane, being compassionate, being caring. We need first to show them the importance of acting with responsibility, not with duty and obligation, because acting with obligation ends when no one is watching. We need also first to show them the importance of acting with freedom, not from fear. I hope this gives a clear vision of 21st century learning as I see it, not just employing technology and teaching critical thinking skills and problem-solving skills. It is much more than all that. Our 21st century teaching and learning will remain inadequate to fulfill the needs and aspirations of our future generations and our beautiful planet if we continue to take it in the same path that it takes right now. I have been sending 21st Century Orbits model 4 components as the mainstream resource of my free newsletter since September of this year. I have sent 6 editions so far. They also include rubrics and exercises as printables. If you are interested in having them for free, please send me an email at info@orbitsdevelopment.com and I will be more than happy to send you the files. You can also subscribe to the monthly newsletters, which will include more editions, obviously, of this series. My newsletters are sent once every month, free of charge, and they are not sales-oriented. Coming to the end with the open-ended question. If we continue to solve problems using the same methods, will we ever mend our reality?